Have you ever shared a home, a bed, a life, with someone who made you feel like a ghost? Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, drop your thoughts and the lessons you took from this story in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another story that just might sound a little too familiar. Now, let me tell you about a man named Ethan Carr, and the 20 years he gave to a woman who treated his loyalty like background noise. Ethan met Rachel in their early 20s. They were the kind of couple people envied. Built a home together, raised 2 children, paid off a mortgage, hosted family barbecues. From the outside, they were the picture of a stable, loving suburban marriage. But what people didn't see was how invisible Ethan had become inside his own home. It didn't start with anything dramatic. No arguments, no cheating scandals. Just slow erosion. Bit by bit, Rachel stopped engaging. At first, Ethan chalked it up to stress. Raising kids, paying bills, balancing work and life. He gave her grace. That's what a good husband does, right? So he stepped up. He took more hours at the firm when she said money was tight. Took over bedtime routines when she said she was too tired. Didn't pressure her when she said she wasn't in the mood. But weeks turned into months. Months into years. And the warmth never came back. No touch. No affection. No intimacy, not even emotional. Just a cold shoulder, a woman who scrolled TikTok while lying beside him in bed, laughing at strangers' videos, while he stared at the ceiling wondering what he'd done wrong. He didn't cheat. He didn't lash out. He didn't beg. He waited. He watched. And when the clarity hit him, when he finally understood that she had stopped loving him long ago, he didn't explode. He just began to disappear. Have you ever loved someone who didn't hate you, but simply stopped seeing you at all? Ethan described it best. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was the handyman, the chauffeur, the man who paid the bills and picked up dog food. I could have vanished for weeks, and she wouldn't have noticed unless the trash hadn't been taken out. He brought up the distance twice, maybe 3 times. Tried to hold her hand. Tried to tell her he still desired her. She nodded. Said, I know. I'm sorry. Then she'd peck his cheek and return to whatever Netflix series she was watching. Eventually he stopped trying. And it didn't happen overnight. The breaking of a man like Ethan is quiet. It's not loud arguments or door slams. It's silence. Deep echoing silence. While Rachel was busy living like Ethan was furniture, he rebuilt himself in secret. He started going to the gym again. Reconnected with old friends. Found joy in small things. Not to escape her, but to find himself. 1,000 nights without her touch. That number wasn't a guess. He'd counted. And during those 1,000 nights, he didn't scream, didn't plead, didn't guilt her. He simply endured until he didn't. It wasn't anger that changed him. It was clarity. And when Ethan finally decided to leave, it wasn't dramatic. It was surgical. No yelling. No accusations. Just a conversation over morning coffee. Rachel had just finished brushing her hair and was scrolling her phone when Ethan calmly said, I've spoken to a lawyer. I'm filing for divorce. She blinked like she hadn't heard him right. What? Divorce? Where is this coming from? Not why. Not how long have you felt this way. Just where, because in her mind Ethan had always been the rock. The man who tolerated everything and never wavered. But the man she used to know had left her long ago. Only the shell had remained. She tried to talk. Reached out to touch him. But he didn't move. Didn't even flinch. Is there someone else? She asked, her voice shaking. Ethan laughed. Not mockingly but bitterly. No. That's the tragedy. I was entirely yours. And even that wasn't enough. She cried for the first time in years. Real tears. Not out of love, but out of loss. Not of Ethan but of control. We can fix this, she whispered. But Ethan didn't want to fix it. Because you don't water a dead plant. You don't revive something that flatlined a decade ago. You had years, he told her. Now I'm done talking. He packed a single bag. No drama. No goodbye letter. Just essentials and self-respect. He left behind photos, gifts, reminders. Because those things didn't matter anymore. What mattered was peace. He found a small Airbnb across town. Cooked his own breakfast. Took long walks. Lifted heavy at the gym. Read books he'd never had time for. And for the first time in decades he breathed. Rachel called. Texted. Sent old photos. Remember this. We can be that again. But Ethan didn't reply. Not out of cruelty. Out of indifference. Because emotional death doesn't happen overnight. It happens in silence, over years. And Ethan had already mourned the marriage while lying next to her for 1,000 nights. A few months later, Rachel found him at a coffee shop. Sat across from him, tears welling. Can we please talk? He let her. She apologized. Promised therapy. Begged to try again. She spoke of memories and family and dreams. And Ethan, calm, steady, unmoved, said only this. I forgive you. But I don't want you back. That was the last time they spoke in person. Now, Ethan lives in a small place of his own. Works hard. Sleeps well. No texts begging for attention. No one scrolling next to him while he stares at the ceiling. He picked up woodworking, built his own desk, took a solo road trip to the mountains. He's not bitter. He doesn't hate her. He just doesn't think about her. That's the power of real peace. Not needing closure, not needing revenge, just the quiet knowing that you finally chose yourself. Because when a man disappears emotionally, long before he packs his bag, there is no rewind button. No last-minute plea. No turning back. Rachel had a good man. She just didn't recognize him until he was already gone. Have you ever stayed too long hoping someone would finally see you again? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story hit close to home, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because someone out there needs to hear that they're not alone.